Catastrophe on top of catastrophe. The ground shook. The intense sound of fighter jets dropping bombs. Israeli military is raining hell on Rafah. Under the threat of aerial bombardment, an estimated 1.7 million men, women and children have been forcibly displaced to Rafah. Palestinians are requesting, begging, crying out, "Don't enter Rafah." Rattled Israel, however, has made it clear that IDF would enter the Palestinian city with or without a deal. Rafah now Israel's thorn or a dream? Israeli army peeling back Gaza. Palestinians await the biggest catastrophe as IDF finalizes Rafah's plans and alerts troops. Clock ticking for Hamas in the battleground? Is invasion possible if no deal in 72 hours? Rafah invasion would be a disaster beyond imagination. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu isn't backing down on his stance on Israel's impending invasion of Rafah, but now, harsh statements from the US government and Israel's allies against Netanyahu have boosted Hamas's arrogance and confidence. Threats of Rafah invasion have been a tool that Israel is using in negotiations with Hamas for release of hostages.
אנחנו נשלים את יעדי המלחמה. אנחנו נפנה את האוכלוסייה האזרחית כדי שנוכל להתמקד במחבלים כפי שעשינו עד עכשיו. אנחנו ניכנס לרפיח כי אין לנו ברירה אחרת. אנחנו נשמיד את גדודי החמאס שם, אנחנו נשלים את כל יעדי המלחמה, כולל השבת כל חטופינו.
Right now, Netanyahu finds himself in a trap and has refrained from doing anything for far too long. With growing West pressure on Netanyahu, Hamas feels Israel is weaker than ever, both domestically and internationally. Hamas has no reason to agree to anything less than an end to Israel's operations in Gaza. And Netanyahu has vowed to eliminate Hamas, a goal that is and always was impossible. If the Israel Defense Forces invades Rafah, the city will become a charnel house.
Continues to be the case that we have not seen a credible plan that would address the varying areas of concerns that you've heard me talk about a number of times from up here and others, primarily the ability to address the serious humanitarian concerns surrounding, again, Rafah is a region with more than 1 million people seeking refuge. It's an area that continues to be an important conduit for humanitarian aid as well as a safe departure for foreign nationals. And so any kind of operation that does not address some of these key concerns would certainly be opposed by us.
Normally a small city next to Egypt, Rafah these days is extremely overcrowded, hosting the majority of Gaza's 2.2 million people. However, as per Israel, Rafah is Hamas's last major stronghold in the Gaza Strip. For Netanyahu, victory in the Gaza war would be impossible without taking Rafah. On April 8th, Israel's PM, Benjamin Netanyahu, said that a date has been set for an Israeli invasion of Rafah. Without disclosing that date of operation for Gaza's last refuge for displaced Palestinians, he made confirmed the bloody plan. As per many pundits, Netanyahu's public mention of a set date could be a negotiating tactic to try to keep the pressure on Hamas for a deal. Meanwhile, some analysts have even suggested Israel may never invade Rafah and that the threat alone is a means to leverage Hamas. Because the thornier unanswered question still is, who will govern the enclave when the fighting is over?